Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. So this episode, we're going to work on the front PSC hydro assist ram. This video is going to come out probably before a lot of the odds and ends stuff that I've been doing the last 2.5, 3 weeks. Once you get down to just these little last odds and ends, it's like it's hard to kind of video something like that, but I'll probably do more or less a finished walk around as far as what all that stuff entailed. I don't know yet, we'll see. So let's see what we're getting into here with the ram assist. All right, so I got the axle suspended by straps again. I'm waiting on some core seal. I just finished kind of grinding the towers smooth. Now I want to go through and treat everything, all the bare metal, with core seal and then prime and paint. So I need the ORIs to be off for that. Anyway, so I threw the track bar back in and the tie rod in. So basically right now, with not modifying the steering stops, lock to lock as far as the knuckles and tie rod go is a 6 1/4 inch stroke. So since there's so much steering stop available, I'm going to grind these down to achieve another 1/2 inch of stroke, because the PSC rams come in a 6 inch, a 6 3/4, and then I think a 7 1/2 and an 8. You can call PSC and have them limit the stroke to whatever spec you want, but knowing that we can buzz off these steering stops to gain another 1/2 inch of stroke with an already assembled 6 3/4 inch ram just made the most sense. Get everything laid out here on the table. Here is the 6 3/4 inch stroke ram, and I believe it's 1 3/4 inch with a 5/8 shaft, I believe. The only thing I noticed though is I requested to have, I wanted 90s on the ram side, and then I wanted 45s for the steering gear, and they sent straights. So Jeff's gonna get a hold of them and have them swap that out. No big deal, I don't need those for the install. So the kit comes with the ram, the fittings. We got an 8 feet of hose, got the mounting tabs, and the bolts. So it's a pretty basic, not a lot of parts involved. Utilizing a laser here, I put the knuckles and tie rod all the way locked passenger, made a mark, and then all the way locked driver, made another mark. So that equals my stroke back and forth, or total. And that's how I got the 6 3/4 measurement. So now I'm going to grind the steering stops down and then measure, and I want to achieve a 6 3/4 inch measurement here. And that will let me know that that is indeed going to be a 6 3/4 inch stroke, which will match the ram 100%. The ram's going to be mounted. I'm going to weld the tabs on this area of the track bar bracket. Again, this Wild Horses bracket's 3/8 inch thick. It's welded a ton, and actually right behind where the tabs are going to be is where the original factory through bolt went. And remember, if you watch my first video, there's a 3/4 inch bolt that goes through this factory cast mount, and it's welded flush. What do you call that? Rosetted, or anyway, it's been welded 100%. So basically these tabs are going to be on a solid welded area, plenty of strength. And then RPM steering makes a very nice clamp, double shear, 6 bolts, and they have a center, what do you call that? Once you get your measurements, you crank this thing down, it basically center locks everything in. So this thing's not going to slide, which is awesome. Again, a lot of the cheaper mounts, basically they have a bolt or stud welded off the mount, single shear. You definitely don't want that. High-end double shear mount. I haven't seen anything better than the RPM stuff. So let me get grinding on these stops and get my 6 3/4, and then we can move on. All right, so I didn't go too crazy because if you think about it, I need a 1/2 inch overall divided by 2. It's a 1/4 inch per side basically. So I didn't want to grind any more than a 1/4 inch. So I ground, turn, measured on all 4, front and back of each knuckle. These are my old marks, 6 1/4. Then I made some new marks over here just to kind of keep stuff separate. All right, so where the line is over, you'll see I'm basically at 6 3/4. Just got to hit each one a tad more, and then I'll get the ram set up here and fine tune everything. All right, so I put the axle at full bump. Again, another reason why I wanted the RIs off. So I want to make sure that at full bump with the track bar, there's going to be plenty of clearance with the PSC ram. So before I did all this, I went ahead and, like I said, I ground the 4 stops down a little bit more, put my laser out, and got just a hair over 6 3/4 of stroke, which is cool. Then I put the ram up here. Basically, I bottomed out the heims on both sides, basically all the way in, because I don't need it I don't need it any longer than what it is. I already had to mount the tabs off the track bar bracket about almost a 1/2 inch. No big deal. I got it just low enough below this bolt hole here that I can do a nice weld bead. I didn't want to compromise that at all. So nice bead on top of both sides of the tabs, top, bottom, I mean. Those will be super strong. This is fully stroked out all the way driver. PSC is level. The only thing we have to do, and our buddy Brian Racy with the Truggy and Gilligan runs this same cover. So basically we're going to put the bolt in from the bottom up and then just grind this rib down just in that one spot to clearance for the bolt. No big deal. Everything's packaging super nice. Let me get that light out of the way. And then from this view, you'll see there's plenty of room between the track bar and the PSC. And there's a lot of room this way. Let me full lock it the other way and I'll show you. Because it gets tighter when you go full passenger. It brings the tie rod closer to the PSC here. And I also cut about a 1/4 inch off these, bringing the PSC inward a 1/4 inch just because it was so close at full passenger lock. All right, so now I'm full lock passenger. See how the ram goes right in. Nothing here really changes at all. This is where I had a little bit of clearance. So between the tie rod and the ram, that's why I cut off the 1/4 inch of these tabs to bring the ram closer to the track bar bracket to give me that clearance. So now there's plenty of room. So shaping up really well. I like it. All right, I got the mounts or the tabs welded on. Cut off the excess. Kind of ground it, give a little bit of a radius. Ground off this rib. So I'm gonna check all the clearance again here. See where we're at. All right, so I threw the drag link back on. Everything's loose, just to kind of show how everything's packaged now. I dropped the axle down a little bit too, so I'm not at full bump. So I got the ram back in, got the two bolts somewhat tightened down. You can see now that there is plenty of clearance for the bolt and the rib. There's plenty of clearance with everything. Really like how this packaged up. And this Wild Horses mount, I mean, the way everything's situated, how it kind of bends back, it's going to allow the hoses to come off through the back, which is cool. There's plenty of room with the, again, the LS has a lot more room here, like the 30250 blocks. The front oil pan humps down, I think, almost 2 inches. So this being flat above the K-member really gives a lot more area here. And then, you know, with the axle being pushed forward, how I have it, there's just so much room in this area. So it's a big bonus. So I think I'm going to wrap the video up here. I don't see really much of a point to do the whole hose thing because I don't have the 245s that I want. So basically the 45s are going to come off angle passenger. The two hoses are going to come off droop. And there's going to be kind of like an S bend. So the S bend gives it kind of like the limit strap here. When you have an S bend, it can fold and extend. I guess kind of like a coil spring too. So I'll have one chute down below and one chute up above. So it's this one will come out in S, and this one will come out at S, and that's how those are going to get ran. I guess I can show you on my Explorer real quick. So I got one coming this way and then one coming off this way. It just creates that S bend, and then everything just flows nice. See here, you can see the oil pan, although my K-member is modified, but imagine having another 1.5 to 2 inches of room right there. So that's gonna be cool. All right, like I said, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. I really like how this thing, how this packaged out. Everything just really fits how it, like what it was almost meant to be, or how I was hoping it would fit. So super happy with that. So now that this is done, and you know, I cleaned up there we go. The towers are all ground smooth. Everything's ground and ready for core seal and then prime and paint. So that really is going to wrap up all the welding on the front of the truck. The back of the truck's done. Let's see. You'll see I got some brake hoses and stuff. I have another little video going, but I've been jumping around from little thing to little thing, so I don't really have consistent footage, I guess. I don't think. I'll try to get some kind of video up for the brake lines and stuff. Also been doing the fuel tanks in, fuel pump, fuel lines. So I'll have some video stuff covering that. I just kind of have it all jumbled up right now. So, all right, if you're not already subscribed, please do. Like, comment. Again, I hope all these videos that I do helps a lot of people, or at least gives, you know, an idea, a rough idea on how maybe to do their truck. I mean, really, it doesn't matter what vehicle you're working on. The overall general concepts of all this stuff kind of applies to pretty much any vehicle that you're doing. It just your frames and chassis and axles and stuff are slightly different, so different brackets, etc. But overall concepts, parts are about the same. So, and then also, you know, besides the YouTube channel, I also got a Facebook page now, and then Instagram. So, you know, feel free to hit me up on either of the pages, share whatever project you're working on. I like to see cool stuff too. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm subscribed to a bunch of people. So I learn by watching other stuff and applying concepts. So, all right, we will catch you on the next video. So we'll see you then.